Hi everyone, welcome to the day 2 session on Selenium WebDriver. And in the previous session we learned about how to, what is the architecture of a WebDriver, what are the different components in Selenium, and also we learn the basic program on Selenium WebDriver automation. All right, so that program was actually setting up the system property WebDriver.chrome.driver with the Chrome driver.exe path. Okay. Most of the time this path has // but uh, most of the time this is the way path is denoted, but in Java, as we are writing this path as a string, either you should write double slash or give one forward slash. Okay, then WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver. WebDriver, it is interface implemented by Chrome driver class. And you might remember that Chrome driver has a parent class as remote WebDriver, and remote WebDriver implements WebDriver. So this is the way, the relation in between this WebDriver and the Chrome driver. There is next line, driver.get. So get is the method that I am calling on the Chrome driver object. So get method will return the URL. Sorry, it will open that URL in your browser. There is one more class. The class is by. It is abstract class. In the last session we already learned it's an abstract class, and we can actually create object of the class which is extending by class. So we create object of a child class and then storing that object here. Web element. Now there is another method I'm calling, that is find element on the driver object. So this method is actually returning you the web element object. Again, what is a web element? Web element, it is an interface, and this interface is implemented in remote web element class. The class name is remote web element. So find element method actually returns object of remote web element class, and find element method takes parameter of object of by class. That means we already created that by. And then I got that web element object. Okay, now this is the web element object which I found, which I searched, and on that object I'm just simply calling send keys by passing some values. So this send keys method will actually act like typing some value in your text box or some element. Hope it is clear. Let's run this code as it is. Okay, I can see the browser is launched. It's opening a URL now. And that's my URL. So in the search text box, I can see the address word is typed, and there are multiple options are automatically getting popped up in as a list. All right, so that's all. Let's go back. Sorry, I will just quit that Skype. I don't want Skype to be open. Okay, so today we are going to do some more practice. Okay, because this is just a beginning, and as you know, I would suggest you to do practice as much as you can till the time you don't face any new problems. You won't be learning anything new, so just keep on practicing. So that's the reason what I will do is I will create a new project with the today's date. I will say Java project. The date I will give is today's date, that is 25th Jan. WebDriver session 2, or I will say WebDriver practice. Okay, because we need more practice. Now we have learned the basics. Now it's time to do some more practice on it. Okay, So the new project got created is this 25th Jan. Oops, sorry. Actually, I will delete that project and we'll create project with, let's say, day 2 on the WebDriver, right? So I will say new Java project, say day 02 WebDriver, and the first session. First session is, this is not a first session, this is a practice session. You know, we will be doing only practice on few form items, you know. So I would like to show you a few form. So there are many websites actually available. Now, for example, let's take this automationpractice.com only. Okay, let me scroll. There are different products, right? So there are different products, okay? And there is a registration also there. Registration, okay, I will go to the login page. And on the login page, you can actually see that create a new account option. So I will create a sample new account, okay? Let me do that. Oh, you know, I wanted to create an account using automation. So let's learn, you know, how to do that. Let me write a class, expand, new, class. Okay. So automation practice registration. So the name I'm giving is registration. All right. This is my class. I will write main method. Okay. And the very first thing, again, you have to repeat few steps. First thing is set driver path. Okay. How do we set that? We set using system dot set property, the path, WebDriver dot Chrome dot driver. Okay. This is a fixed string. This is the name of your driver, WebDriver dot Chrome dot driver. And then you have to give the path. So the path in my case is E drive. You know, I have kept Chrome driver dot exe on E drive. Drivers slash Chrome driver dot exe. I hope this path is right. I think it is just a oh yeah, it is e colon slash driver slash Chrome driver. Okay, that's my path. And I think I gave the correct path here. Just replace the single slash with the double slashes. At the end, add a semicolon. Say OK. Okay, go to the next line. Now it is time to launch the browser. Launch the browser, it means create the instance of a Chrome driver object, Chrome driver class. So I'm going to create instance. I'm going to create object of a Chrome driver. So I will refer that object as WebDriver. Okay, because WebDriver, it is the parent, it is the interface which is implemented by Chrome driver. So WebDriver driver equal to new WebDriver. Okay, just type web and say control space. You should be able to see that option, you know, which actually shows the WebDriver. But in my case, the WebDriver is not shown. The reason is, let me tell you the reason. I created this project, right? Day 2 WebDriver practice. And the jar file of a Selenium is not added into your Java project. So the very first step you need to do is go to the project, right click on the project, Java build path, libraries, add external jar. The reason is I'm adding add external jar is that jar file is stored on some external location out of your project actually. So I will say add external jar. Oops, sorry, external jar. Now go to that location where is your jar file. So my jar file is present on F drive software/selenium, and there are many jar files I kept. So from that I will use the latest one, which is 3.8.1. Let's say OK, open, apply, OK, and now try. Just type some webd and say control space. As soon as you say a control space, it should show you the different options. So I don't want to say new WebDriver. What I want to say is new Chrome driver. New Chrome driver. Okay, I will also import the WebDriver package. Driver dot get is the method that we call. We have to pass URL to open a URL into browser. http:// the URL is automationpractice.com. Many people do mistake here. They don't just provide this URL, simply they just write automationpractice.com. This is not valid. Okay, you cannot exclude that protocol. I think that's the right URL. Yeah, http:// automationpractice.com. So what this line will do, this line will actually open your automationpractice.com and index.php page. Once the page is open, you need to click on the sign in link. So to click on a sign in link button, or this is a hyperlink, you should inspect it first. I'm saying inspect. Okay, now you can inspect with many ways. So one option is what? Class equal to login. Okay, one option is class equal to login. Another option is href equal to some URL. There is one more option, rel equal to no follow, and something is there, title equal to log in to your customer account. And when this A tag is completed, guys, can anyone tell me what is A tag? A tag is the anchor tag, right? Anchor tag means the hyperlink. Yeah, it's an anchor tag, so it's a hyperlink. Okay, so we have A tag, and there is a sign in text present in A tag. See, you can see that this is closing A tag, this is opening A tag. So from this opening till the closing, there is a sign in text present, and I want to use any of this locator. So do you see ID is there? Please reply. Is ID is there? Yes, no? Do you see ID equal to something? No, very good. So do you see name equal to something? This element is having some name. Is it? No, very good. So this element is not having ID, not having name. Now, as I gave you the options, right? In the last session, I gave you different options. There are actually 8 locators available: ID, name, tag name, okay, class name. Then for specially links, link text is there. There is one more, partial link text, and there are 2 extra: XPath, CSS, selector, which are the most commonly used locator, XPath and CSS selector, and those are the most complex locator also, because it gives you so many options. And you can use XPath and CSS selector for locating any element, almost any element. So in my case, I don't have ID, I don't have name. Can I use a tag name? What is the tag name, guys? What is the tag name in my element? The tag name is A. You see, right? I have written, this is the tag name written A, and it has some attributes, attribute equal to value, attribute equal to value 2, attribute 3 equal to value 3 in that way. So my tag name is A, but guys, uh, you think that this is a unique tag on your web page? This is the only one A tag present on your web page, is it? No, right? There are so many hyperlinks. See, contact us is also hyperlink. This image is also hyperlink. This logo is also hyperlink. There are so many options. This button is also a hyperlink. So all of these elements are most of the time, those are going to be a hyperlink, which is A tag. So if I say, if I simply write a code, driver dot find element by tag name, and my tag name is A, in just double quote A. This is not going to solve my problem, okay? Because there is no single A tag which is unique. So let's go to next. There is a class name, guys. What is the class name for that element? Anyone remember what is the class name for that element? Login, yeah. Login is the class name. So as you can see that class equal to login, okay. You can actually use this login as a unique element, unique locator. So the code that we write is, we write something like this. So driver dot find element, and find element takes object, right? But that object I will say by dot class name, right? We are using class name, by dot class name, and in that class name you have to give the unique class name, that is login. Okay. So this line driver dot find element, okay, this find element method is going to return the web element object, and on that web element object you can actually call click method. So this is a very short code I have written. Let me explain you very detailed, but you need to consider that this is going to work if login is unique. If there are multiple elements matching with the login class name, then it won't help you. Okay. All right. So this is one option. Okay. I will tell you that how to check whether that login class name is unique. So let's say I wanted to check, this login is unique or not. So just copy that. One option is, this is complete HTML. One option is just go to that HTML and search for that word. So as you can see that login is found 2 times, 1 of 2. So this some code, it's actually a JavaScript. The JavaScript is also containing login word in that script, but this is not the class. Okay. So you wanted to filter out specifically all the elements which are having class as a login. Okay, please listen carefully. You wanted to say that, or you wanted to find all the elements, all the HTML tags which are having class as a login. Okay, so what you will do is just simply say that dot and then write login dot login. Dot stands for class name. Okay, dot stands for class name. So simply say that dot login, and to the right hand side you can see 1 of 1 matching, that is class login is unique. Only one element got selected here. So this is a one technique how you can check whether the class name is unique or not. So just write dot and the class name in that search box. Okay, this search is different one. So if you are into, let me tell you that part also. Let's say you are here, I will say that cancel. Okay, now right now you are not seeing any search for HTML. So just go to HTML and then say Control F. This search window will be automatically shown. Some people do a mistake, they go to the web page and then they search, they say Control F. So if you say Control F, then it will show you this search box. Okay, but what I'm saying is click the HTML first, go to HTML first and then Control F. So if you go to the HTML and then say Control F, then it will show you this search box in your Chrome browser for searching HTML. Okay. So what we can use is, we will use locator as, okay, object of by. Let me create object of by as we discussed yesterday. By. So locator is equal to new. The object I will create is by class name. I'm not sure why it is not showing me the option. By class. Just give me a second, let me find out. Okay, there is a class. Okay, it's coming from by ID. Alright, okay. I'm not able to find the class directly here. So what I will do is, instead of directly creating object, in our previous example, we directly created object. See, the previous example is this. We created object of by ID or name class, we created object of by ID or a name class. So instead of directly creating object, what I will say is, I will say by dot class name. So what you see here is, class name, it is a static method. As you can see, this is a static method and we are calling this class name method, it's a method, on a class name as a by. Okay, so I will just say class name, and which takes a string parameter, and what this method is going to return, this method will return object of by. You can see that return type here. Okay, so it's a static method which returns object of by, and the class name that you have to give is login, because I want to locate that element with class name. So I'm saying by dot class name and the login. Alright, so next is, I got the element. Now let's use that element. Driver dot find element by dot class name. Oh, my bad guys. I wanted to pass on that locator to find element method. Okay. So I'm saying driver dot find element and then I'm passing the locator, that how to locate that element. But guys, let me tell you, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. The reason is, driver dot find element will return you the web element object, and we are not collecting that web element object from the method find element. So it is time to get the return value as well. So I'm taking the returned object. That returned object data type is web element. The object name I'm giving is element. Driver dot find element. Now next is, on that element, see, I got an element, right? Now next operation is perform some operation on that element. So I'm saying element dot click. Okay, as you can see, there are many methods available. If you see element dot, that means that element object dot, you can see many methods, but I'm interested into clicking on that link, right? Click. So this is a simple code just to click on a sign in button. Okay, it is a simple code just to click on a one sign in button. Like that, we have to do so many operations. So but before that, I wanted to tell you how to simplify this code. Okay, so let me simplify this code by saying, I will combine actually these three lines. I can combine these three lines. How to do that? Let's see. I'm directly saying driver dot find element, and find element requires object of a by. So instead of first creating object, getting the object from the static method, I will write that code directly here. I'm writing by dot, directly call the static method by dot class name. The class name is login. Okay, so this line, this code, actually if you simply just write by dot class name login, this is going to return you object. Okay, and on that element I want to perform click. Let me explain you this one line. So what I did is all these three actions I have done in a one line. And now how it is done, let's talk about that. Okay, as you can see, there are few things. The very first, this method will get called by dot class name login. This is the method which will receive a call very first. Now what this method will do, this method is going to return object of by class. Okay, do you agree with this? This returns object of a by class. Let's say I'm writing that, oops, let me write that object here. Okay, and that by class object will be used by this method. Okay, let's say, and at the end there is actually a bracket, but I don't have a space there. So something like this. So I have that object. That object is actually having no, that object is not having any name. Okay, that object is passed to the find element method. Now for what this code will do is, what this code will do, this code will actually return you, find element method is taking one object and will return another object. So the object which is returned by find element method is remote web element. Okay, so the object is remote web element. Okay, and this is not an object actually, this is the class name of that object. Remote web element is the name and it's a class. Remote web element has some code, for example click, send keys, and many more actually. So remote web element class is implementing, there is one more interface actually. We say that interface as I web element. So I'm just writing I to denote it is interface, and the interface name is web element. So web element interface is implemented into remote web element. You should know this. Web element interface is implemented in remote web element class. Fine. So all the methods which are there in the web element will be automatically available to all the elements we get. Fine. I hope this architecture wise it is clear. And just for your additional detail, so web element also has a parent class that is a search context, which is very much similar like a WebDriver. Okay, so this is a interface again. Okay, web element extends search context because both are element, and there is you can have an inheritance in between these two interfaces. Okay, fine. So I hope it is clear. So driver.findElement method is going to return you the remote web element object, and on that remote web element object, the method I want to call is dot click. Okay, dot click. Fine. So I got that object. On that object, I'm calling dot click, and click returns nothing. If you see, just go mouse over on the click, and the information you see here is click is not returning anything. Hope it is clear. So this is another example, with some explanation on how to locate an element and the inheritance between the remote web element, how that web element and search context interfaces are implemented. I hope this will help you to understand, some internal insights about Selenium WebDriver. So let's go back to the program and see what I have written is driver.findElement. Okay, inside that by.class name, this will return first object. That object will be replaced something like this. Okay, that object will be passed to find element, and this code is going to return another object. Let's say O, and that on that object I'm calling click, something like that, So you can actually combine these 3 lines into 1 line, and this is very much friendlier also, So how we read something like this: sagar.findElement by class name login and click. This is very friendly and readable. So there is a question whether find element shows remote WebDriver in help text as return type. No, find element return data type of a find element is only web element. It doesn't show remote web element. Okay, it only shows web element interface. Okay, because find element method itself, it is coming from the WebDriver interface. All right. Okay, fine. So that's one. So I'm just now done with clicking on the login button. I'm coming back. So let's say you click on login button. Now you guys tell me that what should be my next step once you click on login button. Now the next step is go to that email text box and then just type your email address. So let me inspect that email text box so that I can type email address here. Okay, so inspection is very easy. Just right click and click on inspect. Okay, you can see that input type equal to text. Okay, class is required. Okay, guys, see, class equal to is required space validate space account input space form control. That means this one element is having 4 classes. This one element having 4 classes, and you can use any one class. You can use any one unique class to locate this element uniquely. Okay, so try to focus on finding a unique class. Now there is a attribute data validate equal to is email, and the very interesting thing is ID equal to email create, and that same element also has name equal to email create. Now it is up to you that what to use. You can go with ID or you can go with name, anything is fine. So I will use ID or name, I mean anything, it doesn't really matter. So I'm saying driver dot find element by dot ID, pass on the ID. So this line will return you object of web element. On that web element, I will simply say that send keys, and send keys, it means type some value in that text box. So I'm saying Vikas Thange @gmail.com. Okay. So let me run this script first and see whether it is clicking on that login button, whether it is typing some value in the text box. Do not write the complete code in just one go and then try to run that program. That will create so many issues. So better is use incremental approach. Initially write only script till launching browser, then write script for opening URL, then write script for clicking on sign in, then execute it, check it is working. If it is working, then only continue writing the next steps. So in our case, let's come back here. So driver.find element by.id, email address, create, send keys. And what I'm going to do is, now the best part is, best part of the session, let's run it. Okay. So I'm saying run as Java application. The browser is launched. As you can see, URL is getting open. Let's wait for some time. All right, I can see the website now. Now I'm expecting that sign in link has to be clicked, and as you can see that the login page is open, or the create account page is open, and that vikasthange@gmail.com email address is also typed in the text box. Okay, this typing happens very fast because Selenium is very fast comparatively to manual typing. So that's how it is. The next step I have to do is click on create account. But what I will do is, I already have a Chrome window for inspection, so I will close that window, which is just started right now. Inspect, create an account button. Okay, it is a span. It is a span. Okay, let's expand it. Span has I tag. I means italic, right? Hope you remember I is italic. And inside the tag there is some before and some kind of a text is there. The text is written as double quote, new line, create account, new line, then double quote. Okay, so this is the text. Now what I want is, I want to click on this span, right? I want to click on span. But as you can see that span don't have ID, name, or even the tag name is not unique. You will require some CSS with some parent and child kind of thing, relation. So what I will do is, I will just go to the parent of the span. Okay, I'm going to the parent of a span. Span is just nothing but a placeholder, like many of you must be knowing div or something. So it is just a placeholder where you can actually write some value or something. Okay. So this span is just simply the text and image. So if I go to the parent of this span, so the parent tag of this span is a button. You can see that, this is child, this is parent. So the parent is a button, and that buttons is actually the full button that, I wanted to click. Yes, Vaishali, span is a tag, but practically speaking, like when I say hyperlink, the tag name for hyperlink is A, that is anchor. But in real time we say it is a hyperlink, right? So it is that way. So span, it is a tag name. Yes, it is a tag name, but it is not unique in my web page. There are so many spans. So you can use some other combination. So in my case, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to the parent of my span. So the tag name is button, BUTTON is the tag name. It has ID equal to submit create. It has ID as submit create. Okay, so let me go and write a script. Driver dot find element by dot ID as ID as submit create. On that submit create button, I have to perform click. Okay, so let's do it manually and see what happens. I'm writing actually my email address, and I'm clicking on the submit create account. So this email address is not registered, so this application sent me to create an account web page. Now it is time to read the create an account web page text. Let's say I wanted to check whether this text is present or not. So let's inspect it. Okay, this is what H1. Now this is a H1. I don't know how many H1s are there on your web page. H1 tag is unique because it is not having ID, not having name, not having class name. Okay, class name is there. It might be unique. So how to check that class name is unique? Just go here, say Control F. You will see a search box. You can search by string or selector or XPath. In that search box, I'm just saying dot and the paste the class name. So how many matching nodes are found? How many matching nodes are found? Only one matching nodes are found. That means it is unique. The class name is unique. So going to the Eclipse back, and there I will say driver dot find element by dot class name, and the class name is page heading. So on this element, what I want to do is I want to perform, I wanted to read a text. I don't want to perform a click. I don't want to perform send keys. What I want is I want to read a text. So for reading purpose, we have a get methods. So you can get a location, you can get the rectangle, that means size. There is also a size. There is also a get tag name. There is also a get text method. So if you want to read a text of an element, we call get text method. Okay, get text method is the method that will return you the text of the element. Okay, so I'm saying get text, and get text method returns what? It returns the string value. So you should take the return value as well. Okay, so I want to say that let's say page heading, that's variable name. Page heading is my variable name. Do give some proper naming, like like this example. Don't simply say that string A, B, C, D, P, Q, R, L, M, N. So that's not a good idea, right? So always give some meaningful name. And what I will do is, instead of saying page text, I will say page heading, and the page heading is I want to print the page heading object. So this is done. I said driver.find element. This is the locator. Find the element. On that element, call get text method. Get text method will return you the return value as page heading, and page heading will be printed on the console. All right. So let me run a code. Okay, I'm just executing the code. Okay, first I want, the application, I can see the website. Now the automation should click on Selenium sign in, sorry. So, okay, email address got typed and validated. Now the script is on registration page. Go to the Eclipse and see that page heading printed is authentication. Okay, the page heading I was expecting is create an account, but now what it is returning me, it is returning authentication. Now let's find out why is this happening. This is happening because let me check once again. Okay. Guys, see, what I have done is I clicked on a submit create button. Okay, that submit create button was here. Let's go back to the previous page. Okay, let me open that previous page. So guys, can you see that submit create button is this one, create an account button. I clicked on that button, and immediately after that click, I'm reading an element which is having a page underscore heading as the class name. Immediately after clicking on submit create button. So what happens, in that case, Selenium is not waiting for that element to open, for next page to open. So Selenium is directly finding the element with the name page heading on the same web page. So if you go here and see the same dot page heading, it is returning you the authentication text. You can see that it is a span and it returns you authentication text. All right. So this is the span which is getting written, and this span is shown before loading the next page. So what I want is, after clicking on create, submit create, I want to wait for next page to load. Okay, because by default Selenium was not waiting and it was trying to find the element on the same web page where the submit button was already clicked, and the execution happens so fast, it just returns the old value. I see, yeah. So I got the value, page heading, that is authentication, which is wrong, so that is the reason. What I want to do is, so this is my to do, I want to wait for the next web page to load. So I will add thread dot slip. I will add thread dot slip. So thread dot slip, it's a Java's method that will add some delay in your program execution. So thread dot slip takes input as milliseconds. The milliseconds I'm going to give is 5000. So 5000 is equal to 5 seconds, and I'm just adding 5 seconds wait here. But again, the problem is, if you add, as soon as you add this line, it will give you error saying that unhandled exception type interrupted exception. And to handle this exception, you should either use throws declaration. You have two options. Either you can say that throws declaration, so that throw declaration will be written here, just next to the whichever method you have created, whichever method is getting executed. All right, so that error is gone. But guys, just declaring throws interrupted exception is not really a good idea. Okay, so there is another option. You can add a try catch block. You can add a try catch block. Just click on add try catch block, and there is a try block having some code, and there is a catch block which takes interrupted exception, and inside that catch block e.print stack trace is written. So this is just a 4 or 5 lines of a code on how to use a try catch block. Okay, we will discuss try and catch in more detail, not today, but some other day we will discuss that in more detail. Okay, so I will just remove the try catch block for now, or simply, what you have to do is, first write the thread.slip, and then Eclipse will give you option to add surround with try catch. Okay, Eclipse will give you option on surround with try catch. So I'm going to just simply use that surround with try catch block. So what it says, it has, the blocks are automatically added, and now it is time to run the program. Right click, run as Java application. So throws declaration is not really good. We'll discuss about exception handling more detail in some other session, not in the beginning of Selenium WebDriver. So the web page is loaded. Okay, I typed email address, create new account, and there is a registration form. And let's go back and see. Now what it is printing, it is printing create an account instead of saying registration. So by adding some delay, by adding thread.slip, my issue got fixed. So this is what I wanted to tell you. Sometimes you will have to add thread.slip or some wait kind of mechanism. We will be having a separate session on the different wait mechanisms which are there with the Selenium WebDriver. Okay. We will cover that in some other session, but for the beginning, I think this code is sufficient. Now what you have to do, guys, next is, there is a registration form. We have reached till here, so now you have to take this as an assignment and please complete the registration. please complete the full registration form. You have to select some values also, in drop down list. So let me tell you how to select a value from a drop down list. I will tell you how to select a value from drop down list. So to select a value from drop down list, you have to inspect that element first. You have to find out the locator first. It is a select tag. You can see that, that element got highlighted. See to the left hand side. It has name equal to id underscore state. id as id underscore state. You can use anything. This time I will use name, id underscore state. The very first thing is you need to find the web element. So get the web element. Okay, this is a state element. I will say element state equal to how to find element. So driver dot find element by dot, let's say name. I want to say name, and the name is id state. So this line, web element element state equal to driver dot find element by name id, this line will return me the web element. Okay, this line will not perform selection. This line will only search the element and will return object of element. So to select a value from a drop down list, we don't click on the drop down list. There is a special class present for selecting a value from drop down list. The class name is select. Okay, select class comes from org.openqselenium.support.ui. Just double click on that element. Double click on that class select. So let's say I'm saying select state object, another object I'm creating. Okay, I will use constructor select. The constructor select I am using. So to that constructor select, I'm going to say that new select and the web element. So the web element is, I'm going to give web element as let's give some name. Let's pass that web element object. I already have that web element object, right? Element state. So this is the way I created object of a select class by passing the element object. Now as I have a select class, this object has some instance method. So the most important instance method are three, select by. So let's say you want to select by some index, pass on that integer number. If you say select by index 0, it will select the first value. If you say select by index 1, it will select the second value. If you say select by index number 3, it will select the fourth value, that way. Another option is select by value. Okay, select by value is little bit different. If you want to understand more about the select by value, go inside these options and you see different options are there. So option value equal to 1 Alabama, option value equal to 2 Alaska, option value is equal to 3 Arizona. So if I'm passing values 3, if I'm saying select by value and in that value pass a string saying that 5, so it will select the element which has value is equal to 5. Okay, so this is going to select the element which has value is equal to 5. So in my case, value is equal to 5 is present for which element? For California. So the California value gets selected. Okay, but again, end user don't use this value. End user, what they do is, let's say end user is interested into selecting a Georgia value. So just go here. Instead of calling select by value, I will say select by. There is a more important method, visible text. Select by visible text, and the visible text is Georgia. Okay, so first get the web element. Okay, find the select element, then call select class, create object of a select class, and then on that object call a method select by index or select by value or select by visible text, any of this method. Okay, there is a deselect method also available if you want to try, and this select class is very helpful if you want to select a value from a drop down list. Okay, the question is there from Sagar: if the spelling goes wrong of a visible text, then it throws error that option not found. It throws that error as that option is not found, something like that. All right. So it's very easy, but guys, always remember, while locating an element, you have to locate which element. The tag name must be select if you want to locate. If the tag name is select, that means this is a standard HTML drop-down list. If the tag name you see is a select, that means it is standard HTML drop-down list. But there are so many extensions of a JavaScript, Ajax, jQuery, and so many. So if your drop-down list is coming from Ajax, jQuery, or any other UI component like GWT or something, then you may not see select as an input, select as a tag. So in that case, this select class, from Java will not help you. Again, I'm repeating, if you don't see select tag in your HTML, the select class will not help you to locate your, to click or to select some value in your web page. So in that case, what you have to do is, you have to first call method, first, let's say if it is div or ul, then you just have to perform click methods, click on the first element, it will show a list, and then click on the element which you want. So you just have to call click method instead of using a select class. And yeah, that's all for today. Let me know if you have any questions, guys. Let's have a quick round of question and answer. Let me know if you have any questions. We are done for the today topic, and today what we learn is, we learn automation practice. We learn more simplified code by simply writing driver.findElement by class name, by tag name, by name, or by ID, and at the end just call .click or .send keys. Then we also learn how to select a value from a drop down. It is very easy to click a value in a radio button. Let's say you want to select a radio button, simply locate the element and call click. That's very easy. I won't be covering that part. And we also covered one more thing, that is the most important thing actually from my perspective, is to find that element is unique or not. So let's say you have a navigation page as the class name, and if you want to confirm whether it is unique or not, just go here, so type a dot and paste the class name. So as you can see, 1 of 1 is shown. That means only one matching element is found. So this is the way you can actually check whether it is unique or not. And this is what I have taught you, is only for class name. Is only for class name. We will learn this in more detail in our upcoming sessions. But for today, that's it. Thank you. Thank you everyone for attending this session, and hope to see you in the next session. Bye bye. I didn't see any questions on the chat window, so I assume you don't have any questions. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you, Ashwini. Have a good night. Bye bye.